This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Okay, so last session we were discussing about some Linux basics commands, right? So let's try to recall what we have discussed in yesterday's session, okay, before proceeding. So let me go with yeah. So just to recall the things, so what all the things we had discussed about is we talked about a touch command, right? So to list out the files, we talked about touch, sorry, not list out. To list out the files, we talked about ls command. And from there, we talked about how do we create some files. So that is by using a touch command. And then after that, we went with rm command to remove the files. And after that, we talked about a cp command to copy the files. We have cp source and destination, and the source will be copied to the destination is what we talked about. And mv is to rename the files is what in the files we talked about this, right? And after that, we talked about directory commands. So in directory commands, we talked about pwd, so to check the present working directory where you are in the system. And after that, we talked about how do we switch from one location to another location is what another thing we talked about, cd command. And so the next one is mkdir. So to create a directory, so we have mkdir and its options also, we talked about that. And to remove a directory, we have rmdir, but rmdir can remove only the empty directories, but it cannot actually do the so directories which is having some content. So that's where we went with rm command with -r option. And also cp command with the -r option is what we have talked about to copy the directories, right? And also to rename the directories and move the files from one place to another place, we talked about mv command. Okay, so this is what the second part we talked about in yesterday's session. And also the last one, so we talked about how do we deal with the file content, right? So we talked about a cat command, so to list out all the content of the file. And we talked about a head command to show you the top 10 lines, or top the number of customized lines is your choice. So you can do that. And whereas the next one is a tail command we talked about. If you want to get it from the ending, okay, if you want to get the content from the ending, so we'd be using a tail command, okay, the last lines. And whereas the grep command we talked about, so the grep is to find a word and print those particular lines only, okay, on the screen. So then we use a grep command. And also we have some column-based filtering. So when you have some column-wise filtering, so how do we do that? So that's where we talked about awk command also, okay. And awk is a much powerful command. We just touched the command, I would say. Okay, you don't know even the 1% of that command. It's a very huge. It itself is a scripting language altogether. AWK, it's a scripting language. So and that command is that much powerful. Okay, so but yeah. So I think, as I already mentioning every time, so whenever is needed, you can explore the things. So you can go with that whenever is needed. And the next one, until here we talked about. So until now, actually, what you are dealing with that is you're dealing with the existing content of the file. But if you want to add your own content, so then how do you add your own content? And that's where and that is where the editor comes into picture. When it goes to editor, there are a lot of editors available in the system. Okay, like you have VI editor, you have Nano. Okay, so you have gedit, like this, like, so certain editors are available actually in the system now. And again, so we are going to talk about the one which is most widely used and a default one most of the time in the operating system is going to be the VI editor. Okay, so there are so many editors, like I mentioned: VIM, Nano, gedit, Emacs, yeah, another one. So these are, so quite widely used editors, but among them, so definitely 90% of the operating system comes up VI editor as a default one. Okay, and VI is a very powerful one. It has a lot of options. You think about through something, it has some options. Okay, and even today, like a lot of people actually still do the development in VI editor even. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of having lot many options, but still, okay, so for a beginner it is not that great tool to start with, but still you don't have an option. when you go into the operating system, you don't have any options, so you have to deal with that only. Okay, so that's how so we need to know about this particular editor, and so we need to, okay, yeah, you need to know about the options of this particular editor, no other option. But actually VI is so powerful, but still it misses something like so the user friendliness. Basically, it's a core VI editor is really good, but it doesn't really comes up with a lot of user flexible features. So that's where the VIM came into picture. In VIM, so you have something called as user friendly options, which is an enhanced editor of VI. And so that's where in our sessions we're going to talk about VIM editor. Okay, so that's where in today's session we're going to start with VIM. So in this editor, it's not like a normal editor in your Windows. Probably you open Notepad or WordPad, which comes out of box, right, in Windows operating system. If you open them, so it's a kind of, so the options is kind of very simple out there. So that means you open with the editor, it allows you to type something. Okay, you can start type something and you can save immediately and something like that, right? But actually VI editor comes with certain certain modes basically. Okay, so and the modes which we are talking about is 3 modes: escape mode, colon mode, and insert mode. And there are a couple of other modes also available in VI editor. Okay, so and so when you open any file with editor, so now yesterday also, like someone was asking about this question, I was answering this, right? So whenever you want to open anything or any file kind of thing, so you open the application and then you provide the file, right? So yesterday we were doing like, cat, this is the application and this is the file. Okay, so yeah, so that's where so that's where in the VI editor also we are going to talk about VI and that particular file name. Okay, or VIM, we're talking about VIM and the file name. All right, so this is what you're going to do. All right, and so let's try to do this. And when you do that, basically you're going to you just need to understand these modes. If you try to visualize these particular modes, it's going to be very easy. The VI editor is going to be really easy if you try to visualize these things. So when you open the file with any if you open the file with any VI editor, it goes to escape mode, and from there you can go to 2 other modes. From escape mode you can go to the insert mode, and you can do some operations on the insert mode. And so even in Windows also, like so you edit the content, basically you get into the control mode, control S to save. Okay, so control X to copy or cut, basically control C to copy. They're actually entering into control mode, but yeah, you kind of not aware that you are using control key. I mean to say, like it's something like that. You're using some so some level of control. I would like to say a mode kind of thing, right? So here in this particular editor also, it is kind of same thing. Each and every mode has certain operations which you can perform. Okay, so those are um, so those are yeah, sorry, let me recall. So here we are going to go into the escape mode, and from there we're going to get into some modes, and each and every mode actually you're going to perform some operation. Okay, so what are those things and what we are going to need for general purpose of what we're going to need for the general purpose of editing the files. We'll talk about those particular options. All right. All right, so shall we proceed? Any questions on this so far? Okay, all right. And so let's start with so the escape mode. So when you actually get into a file with some escape mode, okay, so you can do some operations. So what are the operations you can do is you can copy lines, you can copy the line, you can paste the line, okay, you can delete or cut the lines. So these are the major operations which you perform on the line operation, line wise, basically in escape mode. Okay, let's try to do that. So there is a file, some file anaconda-ks.cfg. Any file is fine. So let me open that particular file. Since the file is already there and it holds some content, I'll just use this. Doesn't really matter what is that inside. The content doesn't really matter to us. Okay. All I wanted to do is, so just copy, paste, something like that, right? That's fine. Now, okay. So first thing first. So here. So to copy the line, so first you have to do is you have to go into the escape. You have to ensure that you're in escape mode. How can you ensure that you're in escape mode? Just by pressing escape, you can ensure that you'll come to escape mode. Even though you are there, there is no harm in pressing it again. So you can always press one more escape, no issues. Okay, so you can press escape mode and ensure you're always in escape mode before actually copying some lines. Okay, so here. Now let's say I want to copy this line, okay, and how do I do that? So now let's say ensure in escape mode, and you have to take the cursor to that line. Okay, I actually took the cursor by pressing my down arrows, up arrows, okay, right arrows, or the left, all the arrows in your keyboard you can press and you can move your cursor, and there's a cursor which is blinking, right? You can see that. All right, and yeah, and yeah, so after that, once you go into that line, you press YY to copy the line. So whichever the line you're thinking to copy, you can just go and press YY. Like, let's say I want to copy this particular line, and I am giving, like, let's say there are two repositories or something, basically. I want to put one more line. Okay, so YY. I just copied the line. But is it showing that anywhere information that you copied the line? No. Even in Windows also, probably it will never show. But at least in Windows, you can have some kind of highlighting the text, right? So here it is a little tricky. You just need to understand that it is being copied. That's it. Okay. If you press YY, you can able to understand that it is actually copied. Okay. So escape and YY, that line is copied. Okay. You want to paste the line. Again, take the cursor to the line where you want to paste the lines, and okay. So press P to press P to after performing copy using YY. After you doing the YY, so I just do YY now once again, and I just give P. So now what happened is, one more line came in, isn't it? So yeah. Let me open once again. Yeah. So you see this YY, and then I'm pressing P. So now you can see this. There's one more line, and I can probably do modifications to this line, so like generally how to do the modifications, I'll come to that. So but just try to understand, so the whole line you want to copy and you want to perform your modification. So that's where the copying of the line come into picture. And how do you do the copy is YY and simply the P. Now let's say I'm pressing undo. Okay, how can I do undo is there's an undo operation. So U to press to undo. I did a lot of changes. I just want to press Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. In escape mode, you have an option, press U character. U. Okay, so now it is telling at the end, actually telling that it's already to the oldest change. You cannot undo anything. Okay, is a kind of information it is giving. Okay, fine. All right, so this is how you copy. Now let's say I want to copy YY and I want to paste for 3 times. I want to add 3 lines, 3p, number 3, numerical 3, and you paste it. Okay, so yeah, that's where it's even much easier, right? So that's how you can do that. Or else, like let's say I want to copy 2 lines. So I'll go to the cursor, all right, wherever I want to copy, and I just want to go here and copy 2 lines, right? 2 YY, number 2, and then YY. If I want to paste it, I will paste it here. Those 2 lines is pasted now. I'll give a single P. Those 2 lines has been pasted. Okay, I'm pressing undo, U. Okay, I got undo. All right, YY to yank the lines, we call it as technically yanking. Yanking is also nothing but copy, right? So yanking and pasting for P, and that's it. And numerical numbers also you can specify. So that means NYY is nothing but number of lines you want to copy from the cursor. So the cursor will calculate from this. If you give 2 YY, these 2 lines will calculate. Okay, so that is where you're going to. Okay, so that's about copying the lines. And sometimes I want to cut the lines, or even in fact actually delete. Basically in Windows also it is same thing, right? If you select some content and you press Ctrl X, that means you cut the content, but you never pasted it. That is nothing but called as a delete. You never pasted the content, so that means you deleted the content, right? So here also it is same. You can also go for DD. DD is nothing but cutting the lines, but in fact, if you don't paste them, it's actually a delete. Okay. Now let's say I'm pressing DD, that line actually being cut now. If wherever I want to paste it, I can take that particular line and press P, so the line will be pasted, no problem. But if I don't save that, or if I don't paste it anywhere, that is nothing but delete. Okay. So that's how. You can. Yeah, that's how you can. Okay, so use cut and paste. So DD and paste it. All right. So I'm pressing undo. U. Yeah. And yeah. And the next thing over here is, I mean, just before going with some questions, kind of thing. So there is some word operations, but word operations are pretty rare. Like you can do the same thing on the words as well. Now, let's say you want to copy. A word called as like let's say here is a word. Keyboard is a word I want to copy. Now let's say I'm going to give YW. YW means you actually copy the word and you just give P and only the word will be pasted. You see that? Only the word has been pasted, not line. So like let's say I want to copy a network word. I'll take the cursor to that particular word and I'll just give even in middle also it's not a problem, I think. So whatever the word it is, the cursor is in YW, it's gonna yank that particular word and you paste it. Okay, no, it's not actually taking the complete one. You have to always go with the starting of the word. Yeah, starting of the word, and you have to go. Cursor should go to the starting of the word, and you YW, you just hang the word and you paste it. So that particular word has been pasted. So this is how you actually kind of copy the words and paste them. Okay, but it's pretty rare again. Okay, lines is most of the time we do generally, like if you look into the workwise, but that's okay. Having an option, it's okay. So just understand you can do it on the lines and on the words also you can take care. Just YY for line, YW for word, and NYY and NYW. NP for n number of pages. Now let's say you are actually pasting it for 2 times. 2p if I give, so 2 words has been pasted. So that's the idea of okay. So copy paste. Clear? Any questions? Yeah, Venkatesh.
Raghu, to save this, is there any particular command we're going to use it?
Yeah,
so whatever
save
type
goes to another mode. Every mode has its own operations, right? So we're just talking about escape mode. So the colon mode has some options. So that allows you to save something. We'll go one by one mode. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So to copy the two words, also the same thing, right? 2YW, N always stands there. So you want to copy two words? Yeah. So if you just go here, and there are two words available there, 2YW, okay, and you come here, paste it. So it's actually taking only this much, considering as a word, okay. So that means how many words you have to use. Actually, this you should consider as separate, because those are some special characters, and this has another word, so you will get this much. So that means 3YW, and if you paste somewhere, 3YW, and you paste it, now you're getting that much. So you want equal to will be calculated as another word, and DHCP will be calculated another word. So total these are, you can put like 5 words. So then you'll get that much content completely. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, even for undo, there is an N applicable, right, Raghu? For 2 times, if you have to undo two U, something like that, or only once U is enough.
Let's see. I never tried this. Okay, so 10U. Yeah, it seems to be applicable. Okay, I made one change. Another change, I will go for the second change, and I'll go for third change. Okay, so if I give 5U, I'm giving, yeah, all going in one shot. Yeah, you are right.
Oh,
I never tried this option. Yeah, N is applicable for undo also.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, all right. So there is another modes which are available as well. So as I was mentioning, so the insert mode and colon mode. Okay, let's go with the colon mode. So there is some questions on the chart. No, control all will not work. I mean, you want to select all the lines. Okay, so just you have to, so try to understand, like, so how many number of lines might be there. Okay, so you should have an understanding. So that means, like, let's say 100 lines are there. So you go to the starting of the line, starting of the file. Okay, so very starting of the file, you have to go very starting of the, I went here, right? And there you have to press, like, let's say 1,000 lines you're thinking, then 1,000 YY. Okay, so or the shortcut I will do always is I'll think about some lines, like, if I just come to the ending, so usually it will show how many lines. If you see here at the down, actually the V editor is actually showing you where your cursor is. Okay, now there is a shortcut again available in escape mode, so which is capital G, which will take you to the ending of the line, ending of the file. Okay, so it actually takes you to the ending of the file. Why it takes to the ending of the file? It shows how many number of lines are there. So this is the hack I take it usually. If I want to select the all content, what I usually do is I will go to the very first line and I'll say, no, so there is 140, right? I'll say 150 YY or 140 YY, exact number or some additional number other than that. Now you copied all the content. So that's how it becomes control A. You cannot directly have the control A option here. Yeah. Yeah. So that way it becomes control A.
Thank you, Raghu.
Yeah. So think through. So everyone should think through that logics, right? So yes, you have to think about. So you'll find out some options available on the editor, definitely. Okay. So yeah, you should think that way, everyone. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
copying the line, you can put the cursor anywhere and copy the line. Is it?
Yeah, right. only it's problem with only about the word only, right? So word, it just considers from the cursor, whatever it is there, it is on that word, it is copying that much. Cool. So the next mode which we have here is colon mode. In colon mode also you can perform some operations. So what all the operations you can perform is such operation. So first of all, to go into the colon mode, you cannot directly, not directly in the sense from escape mode. So how do you get into the colon? Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah. So for capital G, we went to the bottom of the file, right? So how to navigate from there to the first line?
GG, small GG.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Explore, start like looking like, so start like thinking of exploring as well. Okay. So Linux
Sure.
is a very vast one, like we talked about, right? So it's a very vast one. Every option we probably may not actually talk through. Okay. So yeah, your approach is correct, like as I mentioned. So everyone also should think through. So if you need something, there is an options already available. It's only the matter of time. You just go to the internet and type like, so what is that option? Absolutely right. Adopt that particular nature, like, so start looking in the internet. Okay, so not like everything you cannot remember, so that's quite not possible actually, at least in the area of DevOps. Okay, you should always look from the internet. And even I mentioned like some of the certifications even goes with allowing you to search from the documentation and do that, because things are vast here. Okay, so everyone cannot remember everything. So yeah, adopt the things of learning the things from the internet. Yeah, so I can tell you that option, Nikhil, in a minute. Yeah, so here so we're going to talk about colon mode, and I can try to visualize this diagram. And how do you go to the colon mode is, so from escape mode you can go to the colon mode, the arrow. I'm just pressing the colon button. Yeah, you can press colon button so that you can enter into the colon mode. So first of all, you have to ensure that you are in escape mode. How you are going to ensure? So you're going to press escape button and you ensure that you are in escape mode. All right. You ensure that you are in escape mode. And after that, you have to press colon character. If you press colon character, you can see here, you're getting colon mode. At the down actually, you're getting colon mode. Yeah, once after you get to the colon mode, so what you need to do is you have to search for a word with forward slash as a prefix. You have to give the word. Now let's say if I want to search a word called as network. Okay, enter. So now you can see this, wherever your network is there, it automatically got highlighted. Okay, so that's how okay, so we are going to use searching basically. All right, and also the next thing generally we do is search and replace. So now you can go to the file completely. So wherever the network is there, it is highlighted. So it is easier for you to understand. So where the network word is there, you see this? This is highlighted, and this comes as in the VIM editor. Let me take you to the VI editor. So the user friendliness will not be there. Like open in VI editor, there is no colors. You see this in this file, there is no colors at all. VIM has some plugins, understands that file as some file, and that's how it is showing. And again, colon / network, you don't have any highlights at all. So just taking the cursor there, okay, to that line. So my cursor is actually in some other line. Like let's say now my cursor is on CMD line. So colon / network and enter. So you can see this, the cursor is actually taking to the network word. That's it. Okay. So, but it's not really highlighting or kind of thing. So this is a problem with the VI. Okay, that's why the VIM is a user-friendly thing. Okay, I would prefer VIM editor if possible, if it is already installed. Okay, at least go with VIM so that your life will be a little bit easy. Okay, yeah. So now the next thing generally we have is search and replace, right? So generally we're going to have search and replace. Now let's say there is a network and I would like to replace that word with something else. Then how do I do that? How do I do that? So here I'm going to colon. Once again, I'm in escape mode. I'm going to colon mode. And so give percentile s. Percentile s. So percentile s you have to give. And what word you want to search and what word you want to replace. Okay, with forward slash, what word I want to search is the network is the word I want to search. And I want to change that to and so the word I want to search for is network, and I would like to replace that with so probably with something else. Okay, so probably I want to replace this with capital network. Okay, I can say capital network. Okay, and forward slash. See, if it is a if it is a normal editor, you will have some boxes and all. If it is Windows, right, it is going to be boxes and all, right? So that you'll have some delimitation, or there is separator between them in boxes. But here it is, so a command line, right? So this forward slashes is something like a boundary to that particular one. Okay, nothing more than that. All right. Now you hit enter. So all the networks has been replaced to capital network, and it's also telling that the 4 substitutions happened on the 4 lines. 4 substitutions happened on the 4 lines. Okay, I'm pressing escape button. So because I want to do the undo, so I will just give undo. All right, I did undo. Now I just want to revert it back. Now, if you observe, actually, one thing I'll show you. So colon, or you can just press up arrow. Once you go to the colon mode, you press up arrow, you will get the previous executed commands also. And you do this, and you go to the starting basically. So here also the network has been changed, and somewhere here the network has been changed. Okay, but this network has not been changed. So why? Can anyone give a rough guess? Basically, why this network not changed to capital letters? So whereas this network changed to, so took the capital letters. So any rough guesses? Comment is not a right answer, I would say. So anyone rough guess? Basically, this network has been modifying, but this not getting modified. So to the editor, it doesn't really matter. It is a comment or it's not a comment. For you, it is a comment. Yeah, it's a case sensitive, right? So it's a capital N. So that means by default, actually, your V editor is going to look for case sensitiveness. And I want to say that, hey, you don't bother about case sensitivity. You just do the case insensitivity. Then at the ending, you have to give an option, which is I for case insensitivity. All right. So then I'm going to give I here and enter. So then what's gonna happen? Now this network is also being replaced as network. Okay. So that's how your networks, any combinations of the network is also going to get replaced to capital network. So case insensitivity, you do the case insensitivity with this one. Okay, fine. So the next thing which I wanted to do here is I want to do a search and replace, but I want to show you one more scenario as well. For an example, there is any two words here available. So here we have something called as lock and lock. 2 words are there. So I would like to give colon percentile s, search for small lock, and replace it with capital lock and slash, and enter. So now what's really happening? So now here, this lock has been replaced as lock, but this lock is actually not replaced as lock. And why? Again, any guesses? So actually, if I search for lock, it's automatically showing you. You see that those words are already highlighted. So there are 2 words which are found out. But now if I just go and give colon percentile s, and I'll give lock, even if you do, that's not a case sensitivity problem now. Now the problem you have here is, so there are 2 words on the same line. There are 2 possibilities on the same line. That's a problem. Okay. So the 2 possibilities need to be replaced. So then G you have to give. So G if you give, so that all the possibilities will be replaced now. Now you see this lock. So what was the command I executed? G at the ending I have given. G stands for global. Global is across the line, but not across the file. In a line, if you have multiple possibilities, so you want to deal with them also, then you can go and say that, hey, G, can you just take care of G, so that it can just take care of all the possibilities. Okay, so that's what you have in search and replace. Okay, now you did some operation. Now let's say if you want to save the file, so again it also possibility in colon operation only. So you have to you colon W from escape mode, then you save the file and you want to come out, so then colon Q to come out the file. Now let's say you want to make, you did some modification, something. Now let's say you don't want to save this file, so then what you can do is colon Q, and if you give that, it tells that, hey, you did some modifications. Now what you have to do is colon Q and exclamatory, which are saying that it is a forceful option. Okay, so colon Q exclamatory. So that means you're not saving it and coming out. So that's another way. And also you can have a save and quit at the same time. So you can go and give colon WQ, so that you can save and quit at the same time. You did some modifications, you want to save and quit. Like let's say I want to take this line, I pasted this, I did the modification, so colon W, save, done. Now, if I open that particular file next time, I'll see the second line also. Okay, so that's the idea. Clear? Any questions? Any questions?
Raghu, this is Bideshwar here.
Yeah.
Raghu, actually, the example which you given, like lock and locked, but locked is a separate word, right? It is, but it is replacing the partial thing, or it is taking the complete word.
But that is the possibility, right? You ask for lock only, you search that much only,
Okay.
and you replace that. And for
Fine.
you, you're calling it as a logged actually. But for it, it's a simple program, right? So for it is looking for a combination, and the combination is possible there.
Fine, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Any other questions?
Go here in the V editor, we cannot modify with grep command, right? So to modify anything.
Grep is to search on the command line. V editor. In V editor, if you want to grep something, then colon / is there, right? So you can search over there. So colon / yeah. So you search for network, you get that.
Yeah. So in the line, if I need to modify something, so in the and I will percentile as well.
Yeah, search and replace is percentile.
Okay.
Percentile is search and replace.
So for example, the spelling is network NETWRK. I want to keep one more K there.
So search for that, right? So colon percentile search for network and replace it with network double K. And that's it. And what happened? Colon percentile S is missing.
Yeah.
So you see that network become double K.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
you. Sorry. What are the changes we made in escape mode? We can't save it. We need to come to the colon mode and save it.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Until now, actually, you're dealing with only a kind of existing content. If you want to type your own content, every time actually you cannot deal with the existing content. Right? So that's where the last mode comes into picture, and that is by going into insert mode. Okay, so you press insert button, it will take to the insert mode. So probably the persons of Mac OS, you don't have the insert button, then you can press I character also. I denotes insert here. Okay, you can press insert. Even Windows also you can use I character. But Mac OS, so you'll not find out the insert button like usually like Windows laptops. generally you'll find it out insert button. So that's where you can press insert button in the keyboard, or else you can press I character also. So okay, anything is okay. So now I want to go to the insert mode and I want to add something on my own. So I just press I, and automatically shows me that I'm in insert mode. Whether you're in colon mode, it will show. Whether you're in you're in insert mode, it will show. But in no mode it is showing means that it is a escape mode. You have to just visualize that. That's it. Now, I can add my own content. So hello world. Now from here, I cannot directly jump to the colon mode. So that's what the diagram is actually telling, right? So you cannot actually jump from insert mode to colon mode or colon mode to insert mode directly. I'd always go through the escape mode. So that means from insert mode, I had to go to escape mode. And again, I had to go to colon mode to go here if I want to save the file again. Okay. So first I had to press escape. I pressed escape. I pressed colon. I'm in colon mode now. And W, Q, enter. That's how I save the content. Okay. So yeah, that's all we have in the editor. It's just matter of little practice, but for a beginner, it is going to be a little, say difficult only to digest the options around the V editor. But it is must known one, because end of the day you will deal with the servers and all. But I can, as a beginner, so sometimes you can also do some workarounds. Like how do you do some workaround? How do you edit the file directly from your Windows operating system? So which is the file on the Linux box. I probably talk about that mostly in tomorrow's session. I can show you that. So we need to create our own servers, and how can we connect to the servers also we'll talk about in tomorrow's session. So we'll take a look about that option also in tomorrow. Okay. And also, like, so you can also do something like this. So now let's say I want to copy something. Assume this is a configuration, and I want to copy something from the internet. From my local desktop, I want to copy something and I want to paste to the editor. Inside the editor also it is possible. Like let's say I can say take some content. So this content I want to copy, I copied in my system. And how can I paste it here? So here also, first of all, I will go to the insert mode. I'm in insert mode now, and I will just give a paste button. But usually I'm pressing Control V here. Okay, but if you use some clients and all, you have to use some other options. I'll talk about that mostly in tomorrow's session. But you can also use, if you want to paste the content which you copied in your clipboard, then the one which you have to use here is insert mode, and then you have to paste it. Okay, that's also possible. You can do that. All right. So what is that? We'll talk about. We'll get into a client. Every time you want to use the browser, basically, you might start using a client. So yeah. So when you use client, what to do, how to deal with that, we'll see that mostly in tomorrow's session. But until then, yeah. So just stick with these options. Yeah. Any questions before proceeding? All right.
Here, copying the content from outside link, like just you said, Control V. Is it you need to go to insert mode and copy? Can't you go to the escape mode and put Wi-Fi? Is it only the escape mode will copy the?
The editor's level content only, right? That one.
Okay. Yeah, that's what it's. Thank you.
Yeah. So the next one is like, let's say sometimes you need to find out some files, in the operating system. So you're new to the operating system. You need to know that you're looking for a file. Where is it? Kind of thing. You don't know the location, but you cannot go into each and every location and find it out. So probably you can ask the finder to find out what is the file, and there's a command which is available, which is a find command. Okay, so find, you're asking slash. Okay, let's say slash means the root path, right? Yesterday's session, if you remember, slash is a root path, and the whole root. Okay, in the whole root, you want to find out something, that is find slash and find the // and then and then okay, so the name of the file is going to be is a password. Like let's say a file name is password. Now it goes to the system and find out all the locations wherever you have a password file. It's gonna print you those particular file names on the screen. So just taking some time. So because you get the whole system. Now if I want to interrupt this command, I would like to press Control C. Control C is not a copy in Linux terminals. You have to be very cautious. So accidentally, because sometimes you usually Control C is a copy, you think through as a copy and you press it, it kind of interrupt the commands. So interruptions sometimes lead to some losses as well. Okay, that depends upon the command. It's simply a find command. Actually, I don't bother. That's okay. But just be cautious. Control C is an interrupt. Signal you pass it to your command just to stop it. Now to make it just narrow down make it a bit faster, I can give find/etc. So you just got an output immediately, right? So because find slash is a big system, right? There's a 200 GB hard disk which is available. Has to go to all the system and find out all the files. It just takes time, definitely, right? I just narrowed down and saying that, hey, just find out to me in etc, and you got the output immediately. There are two files. So that's how you can, the criteria I actually picked up is the name of the file. So Linux is actually the find command. So the find command is much powerful than that. So you can go with a lot many criterias. I think I should be given some hyperlink. Yeah, there is a hyperlink which is available here. So go and find out, so what are the other options also. Just understand it. I mean, you don't really practice. You do practice also, I don't mind, but still just understand there are more options. There are other options. Like think about, so some other requirement tomorrow, you think like, find doesn't have options. No. First of all, you have to know about that one, right? So yeah, somehow you have some other criteria as well. You can do that. So some other criteria like permissions, owners, sizes, okay, changes of the files, all those criteria can be found out. So there are some examples given. Just execute them on this same machine. Just go to Katakoda, open it, and so try to paste it. And there's also comment given, like what it does actually basically. So you'll be able to easily understand that as well. It's not a big deal. Okay, so yeah, that's the find command basically. Any questions on this? Yeah. Actually, I had to stop the session for today. Actually, I have some personal work actually. I could not proceed more. I would like to stop it. Sorry for the short notice, but I also didn't know. Yeah, so yeah, so that's all for today. Probably tomorrow we'll continue the some utility command. So very major commands we use across the sessions. So call command, downloading the files, downloading the softwares. Right? So how do you do it? So it's a very important one. We'll talk about that in tomorrow's session, and we'll start from there, and we'll proceed with the remaining topics I was mentioning, like creating the server in Amazon, how to connect, so and things like that. And from there, we'll move on to the admin topics. Yeah, someone saying something.
Raghu, etc is a file. Under the file, and we have find
etc
password,
is a directory.
Right? Directory. Okay. So under the directory, we find the password. So if there are two directories, so we need to find password. So how it would be? How to find that?
You give the two directories. Yeah. Let's say you can use /opt also.
Okay. When you say root, so entire system is from entire system,
Yeah.
it is looking for password. Okay.
Yeah. Yesterday we talked about the directory structure of Linux, right? So / means the whole system, and inside that etc is one directory only. It could be any directory, doesn't really matter. If the directory is there, that's fine. It will search.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Anyone? Any other questions? Yeah, Rob.
Yeah, nothing, Raghu, nothing much. I'm not asking any questions that I'm not getting it at all. So you want me to go into this Katakoda and practice it, or how do I cope up with the things?
You'll never get anything. Only the
Yeah,
hands-on only will get there. So that's where I told in the session also in the very starting that everything needed for the course I will provide. So the only thing I expect from you is practice.
Yeah. And one silly, maybe it might be a silly question,
No
but
problem.
I'm very new to this,
No problem.
so when we are using the commands, do we have to? I mean, shortcuts when we are using shortcuts for the command using the keyboard. So do we have to keep on pressing the control and then give the command, or it's just the command? How does it work? I mean, I never tried this before.
You just type the command, that's it.
Okay. I mean, somewhere you said we also use control for some commands.
So you use shortcuts to make your life easy. Like let's say,
Okay.
So how do you copy in Windows? Basically, you select the text.
Yeah.
Either you can right click
Control
and
copy.
press copy button, or else Control C, right? The same way. So the straightforward options are these, but you have shortcuts actually makes your work faster.
Okay.
And that's on the command line also you have some shortcuts. But straightforward way is you have to type the commands here.
All right. So to get some hands-on this thing, we want me to go with the Katakoda and try doing it.
You should. Everyone should. Not only you. Everyone should practice the thing before coming to the next session. You should practice. Otherwise, you'll start seeing. First session you'll see small gap. Second session you'll see the gap is increasing every day. End of the day, it looks like a very big thing.
It's been the second day that I'm unable to catch up with the things. Raghu, I'll go through and check it once.
For you, it is little because you are from a business side, right? So I can understand it, but still, so just need some practice and focus. That's it. I don't think it's a big deal here.
Sure, Raghu. I'll give it a try. Thank you.
Anyone? Any other questions? So, and also for the couple of people I think joined today as well. So you also need to go through the videos from the links, whatever you have joined, you'll find out. The recorded video actually. So if you just, I hope most of you might be joining the session by just clicking this, or might be some people, depends upon the organizer, they might provide another link. So so you're clicking the join the session here. Otherwise, the recorded videos is available here. Let me paste the URL once again on the chat. This is something you can ignore. Let me put on the chat once again for everyone. Please bookmark this URL. So this is going to be the same thing all the time. It will never change. So you'll find out every day the videos are adding here. That's it. You don't really, this URL doesn't change this.
Raghu, I was always, going to that first demo link to join the class. What was the link for joining the daily session? Is it different?
So for the 1 week, it is going to be a little bit the same way.
Okay.
And after that, I will provide another link to join the session. Okay. But why are we actually making that way is not providing the direct GoToMeeting link is because every time, behind the scene, some changes will happen. For you, you should not really look for, go and look for the email every time. For you, the link has to remain same. That's the context basically. You will not get confused. But in the backend, the links might change, but you should never get impacted. If you go to the given link and click on the join so that it makes you flexible. But for the first week, we probably are giving some name and all the time, the details. But from the probably by the end of the week or the next week, you will never get that option. You click on that, you directly jump onto the session.
Hello. Raghu.
Go ahead.
Hello. Raghu, this complete course is completely focused on DevOps only, not AWS.
AWS and DevOps both. but the context is DevOps only, not AWS. AWS is a separate line. We're not going that line actually. So we're going on the DevOps, but for DevOps also we require cloud and we use cloud. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I am into DBA. DBA experience. I have 6 years Oracle DBA.
Okay.
So my focus is on RDS. Na, complete. That is migration.
What is there in RDS? RDS is simple, right? So you cannot say that it's a cloud service. End of the day, you just it's a whole service which is available all the time. You might see is do something like so kind of do some backups and maintain that, right? So only one service in the cloud will never help you.
No.
And
Yes,
at
you are
least the
saying.
DevOps context is completely different.
Yes.
Yeah.
But my focus is I am into DBA candidate now, so my focus is in depth. I have to learn DB concepts like what I said. Na? Not RDS means we have so many engines are there. Na? So many engines are there. NoSQL database are there. DynamoDB like that. In depth, that means high availability and like
No. The service itself is high availability. You don't do anything.
Okay.
It's not you take the servers and you maintain your structure, right? It's a cloud. It's a service. You go there and you get it. Okay. Let's say so let's say I have a small shop, and today I want to run I want to go online. I want to go digital. Okay. I don't want to go with normal slips and all. I want to go digital. Then what I need to have? I need to have an application. So I had to go and put I want to take a data center and I want to put it, and I want to recruit the developers, and I want to so make the things for the application, and I want to go with the payment gateways and all these particular stuff. I'm a simple shop guy, right? I cannot afford all these things. So that's where you go to some third-party services and you take those particular services, right? So that's a service you get it. You don't burden about you run your business. And the same with the cloud is always about the services, and you run your business. Business is DevOps or database or whatever it is, and you don't do all those things. High availability all comes out of box. Yeah. Some strategy will be there. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
So your skill set is out of demand in the market, at least I would say. So that you'll not survive for a long time. The Oracle database, at least.
Okay.
Yeah. So DevOps is
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You aware of that AWS database specialty exam? That means we have one exam is there.
You have specialty exams. Yes, exactly.
Yes, database analytic and
database specialty. I know.
Yes. You know?
Yeah, I know.
Anyone tell that course?
I don't
Your
know.
colleagues? Sorry?
No, I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know that part.
Okay, Raghu.
Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? I'm sorry for really closing it early today. I have something which cannot be avoided. So really sorry. And thank you very much. And we'll see in tomorrow's session, and we'll continue the remaining thing today.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Good night.